Hi everybody, welcome back to another project update video for Blackstone Fortress. So, let's get into the meat of it. Since my last video, I was talking about the Blackstone Fortress bases, I've gone in and done up one half of my Chaos Cultists. These guys have turned out really well. I modeled their base after essentially these tiles right here, not the hexes, but the tiles themselves. It's a little hard to see on this particular guy. So we look at a different one. You can kind of see how it matches up roughly with the design. I wouldn't say that it's perfect, although it's actually pretty close to the same dimensions. The grading here is a little bit finer, but it works. So we've got two variations of that. And I've gone a little bit darker and a little bit more grimdark, kind of how I was talking about. I think that these guys have really turned out well. I've added some rust effects into the creases of their armor. Really gone with this dark and dingy look. They may take a little touching up here and there at some point, but I feel pretty much confident that they're battle ready. And they're going to look great on the tabletop. So, I do plan on playing these with Blackstone Fortress, of course. But I'm also going to field them in Kill Team and Warhammer 40k because I love the idea of a Traitor Guard army. It just seems so cool. The Death Corps of Krieg, I think, are options I have to add to this particular army that I think would work well and look well together, so we'll watch out for that in the future. I have also been working on the Ghuls. Now, they turned out, I would say, really well. Essentially, I spent just maybe a few hours on all four of them, and I did not touch these guys with a brush. I actually did this all with airbrush, and it was a black primer, white ink, and then just shades after that. Sprayed at it from various angles, different colors, just to add in some variety. And this is where you can see they actually have that full-on Blackstone Fortress base, which I have been working on the design and look and how this is going to work for quite some time. So I wasn't super satisfied with what was out there, and that's true. I think that this really works. It does look a little bit better, in my opinion, in the real life, because you get a little bit of shine here. Fortunately, the shine is part of what makes it look good in real life, but not so good on camera. I think the next time I do this, I'm going to get some footage of what this looks like without the gloss varnish on it, and you'll be able to really see how nice and rich this is. So for each one of them, I did the exact same base. I just rotated it around. For the most part, you really can't tell, or at least unless you're really looking for it. So I'm happy with these. These bases are, of course, up on Thingiverse under the Blackstone Fortress tile kit, unofficial. I'll put that up there. I'll link those down in the description if you want to print them out for yourself, by all means. They're not for commercial use, of course, but I do want to point out I did build them for resin. I'm not sure how much they're gonna work on an FDM printer. You can give it a shot, leave it as a comment. I'd love to see a make of any of these if you guys use them for whatever reason. I've been really happy with these guys. They have this wonderful, just darker effect than I think the box art has, and that's really what I wanted to go for, because on the box art these guys are really light, and I just didn't feel like that fit for what I was going for. So really happy with these guys. I do want to point out that the look and feel of this particular texture, of this particular base, I've been working on for a while. I actually printed out some base toppers a while ago, and I've been experimenting with the color scheme and making sure that I get that right. This was very strongly dry brushed and had edge highlighted. This, I really focused on getting the white into the corners, the little edges, and very delicately brushed this on. So where this didn't get any brush work, this was almost 100% brush. Even the varnish was. So It's been a long process to get this base the way that I wanted it to, but I'm pretty happy. This over here, by the way, was like the first prototype. A little wear and tear on the edges and things like that, but pretty satisfied. Up next, we're going to be working on the Chaos Beastmen and the Spindle Drones. Now, the Beastmen I'm not really familiar with. I know that they're predominantly in Warhammer Fantasy, or Age of Sigmar, or whatever you want to call it. And that's cool. I'm excited, but I don't quite know what I want to do with them, what the look is going to be. So that should be interesting. Spindle Drones, I'm actually really excited for. I have wanted to do the Spindle Drones for quite some time. I've actually put together a 3D model that I should be able to print that is a little bit more optimized, of course, for resin. Since it is a character, I try really hard not to do Games Workshop products that are in existence. I prefer to model things that don't exist yet, that don't have a model. These do, so I won't be able to share that particular model, but I'll be able to print it for myself. And it's going to be great. Now, it does present a little bit of a problem. These spindles, spindly legs on the Spindle Drone are very bendy. Unlike my Traitor Guard, I can't really clip this thing off of its base and glue it down like I did with the rest of them. So I needed to design a base that looks like this, but has a hole the right size for this, and I'm going to have to make that work. So that will be a fun little challenge. I'll have to get my micrometer out and measure it and test it. I'll make that base available online as well once it's done. After that, we'll be doing our Rogue Psyker. This is actually one that isn't a part of the kit that I bought. This one I bought off of eBay, mainly as a test. I wanted to see if I could test them, and I'll experiment with the base and making this one similar to the Blackstone Fortress bases that I've done so far, but a little bit cooler because he is a psychic person, and the Blackstone Fortress might resonate a little bit more with what he's doing. So I'm going to go ahead and just put up a couple clips of painting off my Chaos Cultists here. These guys were a lot of fun to paint. I look forward to doing it a bunch of more times because I have a total of 4 sets of these guys, and I'm really psyched about it. But I'm going to be doing different schemes. I am going to be going with red as like for these sashes more so, but I'm going to change up the colors of the fatigues, some of the armor plates. These guys were really just experimentation, setting the tone and the look for it. But since I have 4 sets of Chaos Traitor Guardsmen, we're going to be doing the 4 different colors of the Pantheon of Chaos. Really, some of the interesting parts was, I started with these guys and I had base coated them a dark metallic. I like to start with metallics because they're the easiest to mess up existing paintwork. So I started off with that. I went in and I painted up the skin, just to add some variation as far as skin types. Went in and painted the fatigues. And I really wanted to push towards generally more desaturated colors. Something that was very bland and drab. Very Mad Max. And I think I accomplished that. So the red started off as a very, very dull red. And then I just, since it's going to be my primary Black Legion color that I'm working with, I upped it in terms of its saturation, just more so. In the dark recesses it's still desaturated, but as you get higher and higher up the spectrum, it goes into a more and more saturated color scheme. The fatigues I just kept pretty dark. I very, very gently highlighted them after a basic wash. The metal was washed in Nolan oil, and then I let that dry. Then I went through and I gave it a watercolor pencil wash of kind of a bright rust. And then I used a brush and I mopped away some of that. And then I went in with my dark metal and started stippling very gently to get some of that shine back. And then with my brightest chrome, I went in and just hit up some of those highlights to make it even glossier in some areas. So they're kind of a combination of dull and shiny at the same time, but I am really pleased with how they turned out, and I'm looking forward to applying this scheme across the rest of my miniatures. Thank you so much for watching, especially to the end of the video. If you like this video, go ahead, leave a like. If you want to see more videos like this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit the bell to receive all notifications. Your viewership, honest to goodness, means the world to me. I've been watching my average views go up quite a bit as I've been posting more often, and it is the highlight of my day when I see more views, how much of my videos people are watching, and just the subscriber count makes my day and makes staying up till all hours of the night totally worth it. Thank you. We'll see you next time.